Alright guys, NoLucksGiven here, back with round 2 after a pretty convincing 1-0 start here. Let's see if we can keep that going. And let's see if we can play some vintage. Lost the die roll again. Pretty unlucky. Apologies if I had my chat on screen the entirety of round 1 there. Not sure if I did. But I probably did, considering it just popped up on screen there. But you never know with Magic Online. Sometimes it just pops out the graveyard randomly. Pops the chat back in randomly. I have a feeling it was on screen all around 1, though. You need to, like, move it off screen once per login. Is generally how it works. Sometimes there's a little bit of lag between your opponent winning the die roll and realizing that they won the die roll, just because the rounds aren't immediate. So he's off cutting the grass or something like that. This hand seems great. We have a turn 1 double thought cast plus top. Just get to dump our whole hand and see what we draw. Could be in a little bit of an awkward position against a Thorn effect, obviously, again. However, we still get to dump our hand at least and then set up for big plays the next turn. So we're going to keep this. Our opponent has mulliganed to 6 and then kept their hand. And they are just scrying right now. They scryed a card to the top on the play. Skips their draw step. All right, we're in the game here. Let's go, baby. Black Lotus, well, that's a pretty good start. Mox Emerald, all right, that'll be good with it. Cavern of Souls, what's happening? They're going to name human or Eldrazi. Eldrazi it is. Are we getting smashed turn 1? No, we're getting Thought Nazi'd. Even worse. All right, so my opponent keeps a Lotus Thought Nazi hand. My hand is pretty good regardless, so I think we're okay. My opponent can take, like, one of our Thought Casts, one of our Moxen, or our top, but we're in a pretty good spot. All right, they take our top, which means we're still going to be able to cast both Thought Casts right here. So all we need to do is find a Monastery Mentor. Okay, I think I will just play Monastery Mentor this turn. How does that sound? I'm pretty sure every time I say, let's draw a Monastery Mentor, that's what happens. So, for any aspiring vintage players out there, just ask to draw a Monastery Mentor. That's really all you have to do. Alrighty. Next turn, we're just going to Thought Cast away. Alright, no Swords to Plowshares one time. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Alright, those are going to slow down our Thought Casts a little bit. But if I can draw something like, what would be the best draw? Okay, either Soul Ring or Mana Crypt. I'll settle for Soul Ring here. No blocks. No blocks for sure on a Thought Nazi. Alright, so let's draw Soul Ring here and then just cast our whole hand. Seat of the Synod, not terrible. Oh, wait. Oh, you're right. You're right, game. This is a much better draw. Okay. You know what? I was mistaken, guys. Magic Online was right. This was the card that I wanted to draw here. Now I can cast these for 2. The next one I'll get to cast for 1, presumably. Alright, draw 2. Force of Will, that's interesting. Alright, let's just cast our Thought Casts and leave open Force of Will mana off of our basic land. Could have kept open Mox Opal there, but I'm probably not going to play another Monastery Mentor this turn. Do I want to play Mana Vault? I think I'm not going to play Mana Vault, but I am going to play Mox Ruby here. So how much damage is this? This is 9. So I can make it 11. Nah, I'm gonna hold here. Just smack for 9. If my opponent chump blocks with Thalia, then I might play Mana Vault. They do not. Alright. Opponent is down to 11 life points. We've got Force of Will to make a monk and counter a spell. Though we can't counter an Eldrazi spell. So we need my opponent to not cast another Thought Nazi or Eldrazi Displacer. We want them to cast a human here. Looks like we might see a human get cast for 3 mana. Thorn of Amethyst. I'll counter it. It makes a monk token. It also means that my opponent can't really attack here either. Which I'm not sure if that's good or bad just yet. But we'll figure it out. If I draw another spell, I think I win, right? My opponent can block 2 guys. Yeah, they'll take 12 damage from my unblocked monks. My opponent had no good attacks anyways there. Alright, so if I can draw a non-creature spell, we win. Just need to not draw land. And that is one hell of a non-creature spell. That is definitely going to get the concession from my opponent here. Let's hold control here. Oh, I guess we had to spend all of that mana anyways. That's fine. Alright, this is going to cause my opponent to concede regardless here. Alright, they don't concede, but that's fine. Let's just replay them. Yeah, alright, now they concede. I was just going to do a whole bunch of shit, because might as well show off the deck when you have a Monastery Mentor in play and play a Paradoxical Outcome. That's, you know, a special circumstance that you really want to make sure you're taking advantage of. So this is an interesting matchup where, like, our swords are good, and we still want Fragmentize and Balance and Hurkyl's Recall, but they're not as good, which is why this Humans deck is good. I didn't mean to board out the Hurkyls there. So all of these cards wind up being able to tag Thorn and stuff like that, but now they can't tag the creatures. So that's why this Humans deck is so good here. We're probably going to board in a pretty similar way that we did last time. The question is, do we want to keep in... We probably want to keep in Snapcaster. And do we want to board in everything? I know I want Swords to Plowshares and Balance. I don't know if I want all of the Hurkyls. Like, 3 Hurkyls seems a little bit like overkill. But it might be better than Fragmentize still at the same time. Because it gets all of them. Or it gets all of their thorns, like if they have multiple. No, I think I'm going to not play Hurkyls and yes, play Fragmentize. And probably not play Steel Sabotage either. Do want basic planes in the deck as well. And then take out Preordain or Merchant Scroll. I could even keep in Outcome and board out Preordain. Oh, I can keep in both of them and not play Steel Sabotage. So they are likely to have, like, some Swords to Plowshares, which makes my mental missteps okay. But still don't really want to go that route. I think just Fragmentize, Balance, and Swords is where we want to be. And we will play the Snapcaster because Snapcastering Swords... Oh, maybe I shouldn't be boarding out Snapcaster against Shops either. Because you still have Snapcaster Swords, Snapcaster Fragmentize. Yeah, that was probably wrong. Alrighty. Just boarding out Merchant Scroll, Hurkyl's Recall, Gataxian Probe, Dig Through Time, and our playset of Mental Missteps. Alright, let's give it a shot here. Well, this seems like a pretty freaking solid hand if you came to play some Magic the Gathering. So let's keep turn 1 Soul Ring, turn 2 Monastery Mentor Ancestral. Soul Ring, obviously a mental misstep target, but looks like we're just going to be facing down a Thalia here, and it is a Thalia that we don't have to care about too much. It is going to slow us down because it does put our non-basics into play tapped as well, which probably means we're going to be fetching a basic, though I will also play a basic if I draw it. That would be pretty lucky. Alright, I think I want to lead with Flooded Strand, is that right? No, I want to lead with Seed of the Synod, because that'll turn on Tolarian Academy, and just let us get more mana than we should have access to. So I'm going to delay our white mana by a little bit here. Our hand is still pretty good against a Thought Nazi, because we've got 2 Monastery Mentors. So they're going to play a Cavern, they're going to name Eldrazi, and then we are either going to get smashed or Nazi'd here. Looks like we're going to get Nazi'd. They're going to take one of our Monastery Mentors. No, we're getting smashed. Okay, well, my opponent's got a really aggressive draw then. Smacking for 8. That is a 3-turn clock. I'm actually not sure if I can even beat that. I mean, Soul Ring is an insanely powerful card, and Thalia providing a tax on absolutely everything also seems a little bit bonkers. Alright, so pretty sure I need to play Flooded Strand here. I guess Soul Ring or Ancestral on myself. I guess I could just Ancestral myself here. Problem is if I don't draw anything, I'm just discarding my whole hand. But it really doesn't matter. I only have next turn anyways. So next turn I can either play Monastery Mentor and then, like, that's it. No, I can play Monastery Mentor and then Ancestral myself. But all of those tokens are going to come into play tapped. Which means I need to Swords to Plowshares next turn. Alright, let's Ancestral myself. See if we can draw some more artifacts here. Just a Tundra, eh? Alright, Mystical Tutor for balance, and then also cast Swords to Plowshares. That could work. Fortunately, I'm going to discard cards now, and then I'm going to discard more cards to smash her. But that's probably fine. Let's discard Preordain and Thoughtcast. And that's all we'll have to discard. Alright. So yeah, plan is to Swords our opponent's Smasher. We're going to take 8 here. Drop down to 4. We're going to end step Mystical Tutor for balance. And hope that that's enough somehow. I don't think it can be, though. Yeah, we'll take 8. First strike damage and normal damage. Go down to 4. Yeah, that curve on the play is pretty threatening. And it's not even like, it's not even that crazy powerful. The actual cards that are in play. It's just Soul Ring. Soul Ring's just busted. But so is Vintage. That's why we love it. Another Thalia. I already ancestraled. So, like, what can I do? Yeah, we're dead. There you go. Alright, let's just concede. Doesn't really change anything based off what we saw. We just saw some creatures. We boarded in our 2 Swords to Plowshares, but that wasn't quite enough. Opponent just had a super aggressive... I guess I should have just got my white mana out there as soon as possible. Just played the Flooded Strand turn 1. That might have given me more options. We'll keep that in mind for next time, but we also get to be on the play, which sometimes that's just enough. And this deck's a little bit slower than Shops. There's a little bit of different disruption. I won't say worse or better. So this hand has a Thoughtcast we cannot cast, a Fragmentize we cannot cast, a Mox Opal that doesn't turn on, but a Mentor and a Time Walk, which is super, super powerful. Think we can find better hands. This is like almost a legacy hand. It's hard to call a hand like that a legacy hand, but it almost is. Let's go ahead and keep this one. Our opponent also mulliganed. So we might both be on 6. Another outcome. Let's bottom that. And let's look for some mana rocks here. I think we can pretty safely just play a Seat turn 1. It opens us up to the most potential plays. Turn 2. If we draw like... if we draw Mana Vault, we're just going to play Monastery Mentor. Wasteland, that's fine. I don't actually mind getting Seat of the Synod Wastelanded, because we've got 1 land in the deck that's just insane in Tolarian Academy. Does mean that this hand is even slower now, but we're kind of fine against Wasteland here. So probably just going to draw 1 card off top next turn. This is a Soul Ring again. So many Soul Rings we're playing against. Alright, but luckily they don't have a play to follow that up with. Let's stop on our own upkeep here and activate our top. Gonna give that a little spinny. So I think we take Seat of the Synod. Could also take Force of Will, which point we're pitching Thoughtcast. Let's take Seat of the Synod. Ah, fuck me. I'm so bad at that. Can I undo? It won't let me. Alright, let's take Force of Will then. So bad. Let's see. If I find a Black Lotus, will I cast Mentor? Yeah. Alright. Ponder... Thoughtcast, Mystical Tutor. That's fine. Just going to use Ponder as a shuffle effect here. And we're going to be pitching Thoughtcast to Force of Will. Just need to find our 3rd mana, which is why that Seat of the Synod was so good. Not the one that they wastelanded. That one, you know, that's a cost that you expect. Chalice of the Void for... Is this for X equals 0? Wow. Because we are still... Well, I don't have a Fragmentize. I do have 4 Fragmentize in the deck. Doesn't actually do anything against us currently. But it will. It will. And it makes our hand pretty dead. I might have liked to counter a Thalia or a Thought Nazi here. Our hand is pretty bad against Thought Nazi right now. But it looks like this is just going to be a Thalia, Heretic Cathar. Or, yeah, Heretic Cathar. Nope, it's a Guardian of Thraben. That's fine. Let's just draw a Ponder and cast it. They have a follow-up Mox. Follow-up Wasteland. Alright, that's fine. It's not fine. It's actually a little bit bad. But because we have no more non-basics in the deck. But we are currently playing around Wasteland. For good reason here. Alright, so I can grab a Mox Jet. I don't think this is good enough, though. Alright. Well, that's definitely a card my opponent would like to Wasteland. So, I'm not going to throw it out there. That is the main one. That's the reason that we want them to waste all of our seats. Alright, Caracas Thalia, meaning that we can no longer kill Thalia. And is this the Thought Nazi here? No, this is a Smasher. Alright, so we're going to take 7. 7 plus 7 plus 7. We've got a 3-turn clock. Thalia is kind of threatening. Reality Smasher's a little bit threatening as well, but if we can find like a Swords to Plowshares too, that gets us out of it. I think I'm just going to draw for my turn here. Plan here is to just cast Monastery Mentor of Tolarian Academy. Don't want to get too greedy. So we're going to take 7 down to 4. Looks like a Swords to Plowshares as well. It's going to cost 1 more mana though, so... Could be. Yeah, it looks like Swords to Plowshares. They just needed to add more mana to their mana pool. Yep. So it's going to put us back up to 13, which still leaves my opponent with a 2-turn clock. And now if they Wasteland Tolarian Academy, we won't be able to replay our Monastery Mentor next turn. So... kind of need something like Black Lotus here at this point. Not even sure if that does enough for us. I guess we really just want Swords to Plowshares now, right? And we can't spin top to look for it. We can flip top to look for it, but we can't really spin because the Thalia is in play. Alrighty. That is round 2 against Eldrazi and Taxes or Eldrazi humans. White Eldrazi is typically the nomenclature that we use, but that's round 2. Unlucky.